Today we're talking about how efficient is it to 3D print in multiple colors on the Bambu Lab A1 Mini. But before we do that, make sure you like and follow. So we ran off some prints, and as everyone knows who 3D prints, the Bambu Labs printers are sort of famous for their pooping and the amount they poop. Now, we ran off two different prints. We ran off this dragon, and we ran off these two gingerbread men. They were on one plate. And we're going to show you the amount of poop it generated based on the way the model was designed. So let's check out the dragon first. So as you can see, when we were printing the dragon, the A1 Mini made a lot of poop. Let's see how many ounces this dragon actually weighs. So it's 1.6 ounces of filament. Now let's see how much poop was generated to print this Mini. And we didn't even finish its wings yet. So let's tear our scale. Now, as you can see, this is the amount of poop generated by the A1 Mini for printing the dragon. You can actually see there's quite a bit of blue in comparison to how much blue is actually on this dragon. Probably blue is the predominant filament in here. So let's pour it in here and see how much it weighs. So 5.2 ounces of filament was used as poop to print a 1.6 ounce Flexi toy. Now, and like I said, I didn't even do the wings yet, which was on a separate plate. Now, if you looked at how this was printed, you see the design was printed this way. So there were, it's printed like that. There were many layers of blue in this print. So every time it had to swap colors, it pooped out blue or red or whatever color it was using. This was a 4-color print. So let's compare that to these two gingerbread men I printed on one plate. There are 1.1 ounces of filament. Now, in comparison, this is the amount of poop that was actually made from these two gingerbread men. So let's tear our scale again. And let's add in the poop. Negligible. Let's add in the piece where it clears out the nozzle. Negligible. So we see it barely used any poop or any extra filament to print these. Now, why was that? These were printed flat on the printer with the brown filament down and the white filament at a different layer height. So the only thing that had to happen is the nozzle had to purge anything that existed. When it was also clearing itself out, you see here, it only it was all brown and one layer of white. Whereas we see here, sorry, this broke when I pulled it off, but it was multiple colors, including the red and blue. And as you can see, it was mostly the blue that it cleared out. So when you print in multiple colors, one of the things to always keep into consideration is where the layers are in terms of your colors when it prints. So as you can see with these were very flat. It had basically the layers of brown and then it went to layers of white, where this was alternating. So every time it created a layer, it would have to purge out the extra filament. That's why we wound up with a lot of blue. You know, I mean, relatively little red in comparison. And this is actually the white when it was purged out. And this is sort of how you can see why it purges. Because you can see from this white, it actually has like a red tint to it, right? So it sort of looks pink. But the thing to take away is when you're designing your models, or even you're just printing models and coloring them and printing them in different colors, think about where those colors are. Think about where you want to lay those lines. And that's going to create some efficiency in the way you print. I hope you enjoyed this video on 3D printing in color. For more on 3D printing technology, make sure you like and follow Make or Build It. And remember, keep on making.